Hello, darlings. Woo! We've got reverb and I feel powerful. Welcome to this week's Alpha Book Club. If you haven't heard, it's the best dang book club in the world. Fight me. And I even saw Book Club. And I tell you what, the woman who played Murphy Brown in that, oh my gosh, Candice Bergman, she had some of the funniest one-liners. This is still better. I'm your host, Maud Garrett. What's up? Also returning this week, she's back from her holidays or vacation if you are from this country that I chose to live in. It's Nerdist's editor-in-chief, Rachel Hyde.
Hello! Yay! I'm happy to be back. Also, I'm moving to Nice. Bye.
Fair enough. Hey, show off your new tattoo.
Bonsoir.
Show off your new tattoo.
Oh.
She got inked up.
Nice.
There it is. It's matching with
rose.
my best friend from college who lives in Europe, and we got it we've been friends for 10 years, and it was her birthday when I went to visit her, so we got matching tattoos.
I mean, it's not a competition. It's not a competition. Did that with my best friend last year in Amsterdam.
Nice.
Except we got different tattoos.
I have no tattoos.
One day. Actually, can we bring out the tattoo artist with the gun? It's happening.
I was like, I totally know what I would do one right now. I know exactly the next one I'm getting.
So, who can draw?
And that's what instant anxiety looks like. This is obviously, you know her as Nerdist's writer, Amy Vorpahl. Hey, Amy.
Hello. Great to be here.
What if you got your shirt, the giant layer tattooed on your body in that exact same place?
Ouch.
You know what's a cool tattoo is
Ouch,
Becca
ouch.
Scott has Audrey Hepburn and I think Marilyn Monroe having tea together.
Oh,
like
that's cute.
on her back, but it's like a full-on back,
Oh,
like a
wow.
big mural of that.
Oh, wow.
That's
like
very cool.
they each take up a whole rib cage.
Whoa.
This is,
How long? How long did that take?
this? 40 minutes, not even. Yeah, it
Really?
was really quick, yeah. An hour maybe
You
total.
can just get a tattoo like it's nothing.
This one hurt more than the other ones. I don't know why.
They
but
went deep.
Yeah. In my soul.
Oh yeah.
That's right. Hey, Hector might be joining us a little bit later on. Apparently, if you guys all jump onto Twitter and tweet aggressively at him, he's more likely to do it. Welcome to our Alpha community. You're our favorite people. Honestly, you recharge us every single week because you're all wonderful in the comments. I like to do little shout outs to people that I'm seeing in there. We got Lemmy K.
Wait, no, this isn't it, is it?
No,
Yeah, I think
oh,
that's a different chat.
Oh, I'm
Where's
giving
our
shout outs
chat?
to people that aren't even here and I'm embarrassed now.
But I bet there's probably crossover. I bet Lemmy K as God is somewhere
Still God
here.
somewhere.
Still God. This might be God in Alpha Book Club.
I really like
Hey,
your pants.
Awesome.
Thank you. I can barely
I do
fit into
too.
it.
I didn't get the pants memo. I should have.
Oh yeah, but
you've
you're
got
better
the Black
in the
Stew
skirt.
memo, and that's important.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, there we go.
Our
Matching.
Double Geek Girl, hi. Amy's shirt is amazing. Monstein says, Team Amy. Oh, Monstein also says Amy needs a Dobby tattoo.
Yes, true. Very true.
Can you please get a tattoo of Dobby spelt the way that Monstein says it to?
No, what you need is you as Dobby. Like,
Oh,
on
God.
your bicep.
Oh,
Like Hector
dear
says,
God.
the weird elvish Buddha.
Yeah, like sailor style on your bicep and like make your face do
yes.
something.
Every time you're
when
having a
you
bad
move it.
day.
Yeah, somehow like
gets
flexing
worse.
will like give me the eyes, the bulgy eyes. Lost in Numbers did prank me before the show. He was like, yeah, there's an issue. That picture is copyright, so I don't know if she can be on this show. And I was like, totally. We can fix this. Y'all are like, yeah, between
That should be your tattoo. We can fix this.
We can fix this.
There you go.
fix
Lee,
this.
that
Ooh,
was
I-
real sassy.
I know, he's like Snark Magoo, and I gave him tacos this week.
Wow.
You're gonna have
that
to
was part of a bet.
untaco yourself.
That was part of a bet, but everyone else was real grateful about it.
Were you the one that did the really I feel like the first interaction we had when you worked here was when you were in the middle of getting someone back for a prank, and it was really good. Like you, right?
It wasn't our first interaction, but it was one of our
one
like,
of the like,
deeper
moments. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah. It was really good.
Lee,
I was very
you sure
impressed.
you want to mess with
Don't
me?
mess with Amy. It was like a full like you're in trouble at work type prank where like multiple people were in on it.
Oh
It was
my God,
really
they
great.
thought they were going to get fired.
I
slash
think I remember you
sued.
telling me about that.
Yeah.
You were
Sued.
really proud of it, and that's the most sadistic / best part about the whole thing. So moving on from the tattoo talk, Rach, you've actually been away the last couple of weeks. I want to know what your thoughts are on the book.
Man, you know, I actually have never read any of Carrie Fisher's books before, which is kind of crazy to me, but it's not, I feel like it's maybe because I generally have never been drawn to, even though I know she's a great writer and she's so funny. I've never been drawn to I have friends who will read Bossy Pants, the Tina Fey book, and different books that are from people's perspectives, and I've always been more drawn to fiction. But then there's this, I know I saw the movie ages ago, but I haven't rewatched it because I just got back, but I enjoyed it. I did read a lot of books, especially when I was a teenager, that were about very tough subject material, but not funny. They were deeply sad. So it was interesting to get the perspective. I liked the switching from sort of points of view and or perspective of Suzanne. So I thought it was really interesting, but it was definitely different from things that I normally read.
Now, one of my favorite questions from 2 weeks ago when we just started on the book was, do you relate to Suzanne?
Yes.
See here. When I read her, she scared the hell out of me.
Yeah.
And her take on addiction and sort of finding her purpose and validation in her drug taking, I was just I absolutely have nothing in common with this woman. And then I realized we had identical senses of humor. So what is it about her?
It's definitely not the humor. It's more, I think, the elements the parts where she's dealing with people in Hollywood and Los Angeles and talking about growing up here and talking about the way that you find validation in that kind of a life, as well as just, I think, the first section was probably my favorite, actually, in that place, because I have gone to different rehabs, not myself, but to visit people that I was close to. So I think just kind of the actual subject material and knowing that Carrie Fisher grew up in Hollywood and struggled with addiction and those kinds of things and had many people like that in her life. I actually have a lot of that as well. So, and I know people in the chat, what I saw on Twitter were kind of talking about people that they've experienced there. So it was nice to have the sense of humor and the levity there, because I haven't read books like the ones I used to read when I was younger in a long time, because they're a bummer. And I read all of them, Prozac Nation, Girl Interrupted, Wasted. They were either addiction or depression or eating disorder books, and I read a bunch of them when I was in my teen years. So, but yeah, I enjoyed it. It was a nice break, and it felt hopeful, but it was also sad to see her experience. So.
I agree with you about my favorite part being the first part, the rehab. The other stuff hits so goddamn close to home. It's the reason why I don't like Friday Night Lights, because I lived in Texas where it was Baptist, divorced people, also football is king. All the points of view, I was yep, been there, that's that person. I don't need to watch it, but I'd really like to watch The Wire, because what the hell is going on with guns and drugs? But same thing with rehab. It's I don't know that world at all. But dating men in LA, I really know, and it's just not. It's more yep, and that's lovely in a book to relate so hard, but it's also a little not surprising. None of it was oh, I've never had this thought before. Even especially, she even names her chapter a banquet of crumbs, where you're I just want a full meal, but I'll take the crumb. Yeah, I'll take that crumb, and that crumb is fine too. That's a metaphor I've used my entire life. So there were some things that were just oh yeah, I've thought that before.
That's so interesting that it's 40 years later.
Yeah, because it was
that's surprising,
and it's still
it's
happening.
Not 40.
Well,
nearly.
It is 1987.
Oh, I thought
that is 30.
Oh yeah.
Oh, still though. That's still.
I know, but I'm just saying there's a big difference between 40 and 30. That's all I'm saying.
I'm rounding up when I definitely shouldn't be. Holding on.
So young.
I was wait.
I thought it was 80.
Hold on, but no, it is
basically millennials.
I mean, technically we are.
We are.
Yeah,
we're older. I mean, very young. We're Gen Z.
Yeah.
Right?
No, wait, why?
No, I don't. We're not. My little brother is.
But Gen Y not. I've never said that before, and I'm not sure. I'll say it again. I will say it again. Validation.
Thrash Owen says, being in Hollywood, I've spent a lot of time getting my female friends back on their feet. This town is hard on ladies. Yeah, there were some moments for sure where she spoke about either, liking acting but not liking all of the things that come with acting, which I feel like we hear quite a bit, where it's no, actually, when you used to sign up for acting, or if you do theater or different things that don't make you a celebrity, some of the elements like the rejection and judging people on their looks and all those things. That's always kind of been a part of it. But, you know, people who became famous and now are part of this, even looking at like I don't know who I was talking to, but in the early 2000s when people on the OC or Gossip Girl or whatever became famous, right when the internet and right when social media was becoming a thing. And it's like, if they had known that they were going to be photographed like going clubbing with their friends when they were 22, would they have not, you know? And so I think it has evolved, and she still for years would comment on kind of the way that fame has evolved, and it was already hard for her back in the 80s, especially as the child of two very famous actors. But also just the way she talks about food was weird. I felt like they kept trying to address kind of eating disorders in there, but never really went for it.
She had an atrocious diet when she ate.
Yes, but also she would say like, oh, I'm a failed anorexic because I have the thoughts, but I don't actually do it. And it's like, yeah, that's a lot. I mean, at least in Los Angeles, it feels like a lot of women especially feel that way, even if they're taking care of each other or of themselves. Or there was another line where she said like, well, healthy just means attractive in Los Angeles. Like, well, are you healthy or do you just look good? And so all of that, I think, resonated with me. But I also was kind of like, yeah, I know. It's not great.
It's very funny. Like, I will say, all of the bummers are totally wiped out by the cleverness and the wit of just the language. And,
yeah, she's brilliant.
And when she and her friend Lucy go out, I'm like, oh, she's finally got a vehicle for her to talk to herself. Like there were very different, very small difference in voices between those two women. Like
they're both Carrie, aren't they?
They've got to be.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like
different
it's
elements.
Just, a nice vehicle for her to get out this funny wit. The other thing that I really got into and definitely agree with is that when you over divulge about yourself, that's actually armor. Like that's more of you can't hurt me because I've already told you everything and it's out here and now what are you gonna do? Because you know everything. Like it's a different version of Cyrano where he's like, I'm gonna insult myself first. It's more like, here's everything, pick and choose, I've heard it all, you know? And even Lucy did the same thing. So I really liked that because I've said that it's something that I'm like, am I the only one who does that? Like I over divulge very
everything
personal
that's wrong
information.
With me.
Yeah.
Are you gonna run? Probably. You know, like it's almost like I know a few people like this too, to varying degrees, and people in the chat are saying going through, you know, your patterns of destroying relationships and you're aware that you're doing it, you know that you're doing it, and you're like, why am I still doing this? But this idea that if you say enough about yourself or you're vulnerable enough or you lay everything out on the table, then and if you push people away, you're proving your own feelings about yourself right, almost.
And then the therapist is like, she's like, oh, what a fun thing to learn. And she goes, and now you're going to use this as another thing to tell people. Like you're just going to tell them more and more things that I'm telling you about you.
Yeah. Oh, everyone knows about her therapist. They know her name, Norma. They know like their relationship that's been going on for what sounds like a couple of decades. I think that's an interesting take about it. I mean, I think that the notion of, oh, my therapist said, you know, is another Hollywood sort of or an LA.
I had the worst my writing partner / best friend at the time for like 8 years, we shared a therapist. It had to have been one of the most weirdly codependent things I've ever done in my life, where I share a therapist with my best friend. Yeah. Not at the same time, not couples therapy.
No, but you like, know, when you tell them something,
well, I wouldn't be able to do that.
That's tough.
It was a bad idea.
Yeah, well, man, therapy is so interesting. I do feel like it was a Hollywood thing at the time, but now, you know, looking at now, it's sometimes, but on Twitter, I think it is more like the people who are interacting on Twitter, maybe it's my echo chamber or whatever, but I think people are more open about, oh, my therapist said this. There's a lot of jokes about things your therapist said, much like astrology or things like that. It's become sort of a meme of like, oh, my therapist said that. But there's still, and folks are chatting about this, there is still such a stigma on addiction, on mental health. Even I was just in Europe, and in Germany, you can, if you're burnt out or you're struggling with your mental health, you can go to the doctor and they will give you a week off of work.
A whole week?
They'll write, or two. You'll write a note to your work. Your work cannot really ask anything about it, and you just get time to kind of.
Wait, what?
I know.
I know that you can get a day, but a whole week.
And it's
where?
free.
In what?
Germany.
In Germany.
Yeah, marry
Oh,
someone
in Australia,
German.
you get 3, if you need counselling, you get 3 free sessions, like that.
Yeah, in college I think you got some free depending at the UC system, but what's crazy to me is that so much of their healthcare costs not, like even going in for therapy costs nothing, and but even just burnout in the way that people work. I took a very long vacation and was like, oh man, I was pretty burnt out, and I'm glad I took that time. But in Germany, you can't email after a certain time. People get so much more vacation time, and there's this thing where I was like, wow. So if
Australia gets more than double.
If you are struggling with mental health, which many people are, I feel like a lot of people are, then you are probably not doing great work. You should feel this way to be able to do that. But it's just interesting that even the way that, these characters who are dealing with this are treated in the book, it's still like, it feels similar to that, where there's still a stigma depending on who you're talking to, depending whether it's addiction or mental health or all of the things that stem from that. There's still, I'm not a big Ben Affleck fan. We've talked about that he's perfect for Gone Girl on previous episodes. But I think like certain nerd sites, reporting on him going back to rehab as if it's a Batman story, like leave him and his small children alone, like stuff like that. So it's just interesting.
Well, at least he's getting help.
Yeah, totally.
But that's the message. Is like, yes.
It's not like,
because I'm reading reports.
No,
that
I mean, it should be.
Cost him the Batman role.
Yeah.
It's like, because he's actually getting help.
Yeah.
It's like, what would Batman do?
What would Batman do?
He would fucking go to rehab.
What would Carrie Fisher do?
Bruce Wayne would buy the rehab facility and make it free. Why hasn't anyone done that yet? We need Bruce Wayne. That's all.
Thrash Odin did mention that he said women have a very intimate relationship with Diet Coke, which I would call, how dare you say that about women? However, I really do. and most of these times I've been drinking Diet Coke in my wine glass instead of wine.
I don't drink soft drink.
Huh?
I don't drink soft drink.
Yeah, I haven't either.
I don't drink soft drink.
Soft drink?
Australia gets 3 months maternity leave. You get 4 to 6 weeks.
No, we are
holidays every year.
Ours is bad.
Gosh, yeah.
All
we
of
have
our
public
healthcare.
hospitals, which means you walk in and everything is done for free. Gosh. Did you know that?
That's insane.
When I got my 20 stitches down my leg because I was a drunk girl with a glass table and I fell through it. It cost me nothing.
Through a glass table?
Yeah, it's weird. I hit it with my left foot, like I kicked it and then just went in. And then it just shattered.
I can't picture that at all.
It's awful. I just remember being on my back and everyone's face just white. And I'm like,
oh yeah, my friend is
sorry.
Like, that would be so scary.
Oh, I was just so apologetic. I was so embarrassed. I was like, I've broken a table. And everyone's like, don't worry about the table.
You were probably in shock, too. Yeah. I apologized when I got hit by a car to the people who found me. I was like, I'm so sorry. You can just leave me. And they were like, no, you crazy girl.
Oh, my God.
When did you apologize when you're in seriously?
I lost my front
women.
teeth. I lost my front teeth.
No way.
These are fake.
What? That's really good.
When I was 8.
That's really good.
Yeah. My two front teeth are totally fake.
That's
cool. And have been forever. But the best thing about it is I can eat ice cream cones better than anyone.
Yeah.
Just like right.
It's my dad's favorite food in the world, but his teeth are painfully sensitive. So watching him eat ice cream every night was like my favorite.
I was giving dating advice last week. Here's another dating advice. Do not make your first date ice cream, because watching anyone put dairy in their mouth is really gross. It's so nasty. You will immediately fall totally out of love. They will disgust you for the rest of your life.
Does anyone else have that problem?
Watching a new person eat
ice cream?
A dairy. If they close their mouth.
What if it's in a cup?
No, man. No, that dairy. Look, if they
close
their mouth,
there
will be a white or green or whatever color ice cream it is line there, and you're just sitting there looking at them like.
What if I want to eat that off their mouth?
I don't think I would have, but now I'm going to.
But like the lick, and then you see it on their tongue. It's.
That sounds delicious.
No.
No. Yeah, no, I'd be about that. I would like bathe in ice cream with them.
Yeah, no, I'm with
Wait,
you.
am I
We're
alone
both
here?
single,
That's
though.
gross,
Yeah.
right?
I love
Hey,
dairy.
hey,
I love
we're
dairy.
all single.
I love dairy in my body. Watching it on
What's your
someone's
kink?
lips.
Or anti-kink?
no.
Dairy's fine. What did dairy ever do to you?
It's gross watching a new person. I
Does
wish.
anyone have some cheese?
No. Cheese is fine. I'm talking about like
Liquid
cereal, milk. You know,
Yes,
ice
has anyone got milk?
cream. God damn it! I can't be
What,
alone
so we can
here.
do
I
it.
dare you
I
to
love
make your
milk.
first date
Yeah,
ice
me
cream
too.
after this.
I used
do
to
it
drink
all the
milk
time.
through for every meal when I was a child, which
Same.
maybe explains why we're so tall.
Cereal in a mug is a game changer.
Oh, yeah.
Oh my
That's
gosh,
cute.
because you can carry it around.
I've been eating cereal for dinner lately. That's not sad, by the way. That's like my choice as an adult.
I've been eating
I've been
with
having
eggs,
fun with it.
breakfast or dinner.
Hashtag team ice cream. Yay!
Yeah.
You know, I do have a problem with mint choc chip though.
Like
Anyway,
in general.
I just don't like mint flavor.
Yeah, I dating in LA.
I wonder what Carrie
is
Fisher
the
would think
worst.
of this conversation.
I think she'd be like, "Shut up, you
Immortal
dumb
Amazon
girls."
says, I think all three of you need a friend like me to keep you safe. That sounds about right.
Oh yeah, wine ice cream. Yeah.
Ooh.
What, how would we even do that?
Am I the
do
only
think.
one?
Yeah, dairy dates.
Yeah, I feel like ice cream is a cute date.
You would think so, but then you have to look at them eating it.
I don't think that would bother me.
Okay. Maybe
Like
it's
the
just
only
me.
thing is if someone is like smacked, like
You know what? I would have a
certain-
problem with the noises.
It's
If they were like,
noise.
we have
God, no,
problems.
don't do that.
But the fact that there's
I
dairy
can't
in there,
handle
man.
it.
Yeah.
I don't like it. I can't handle it.
I don't know.
anyway.
Maybe, look, I've not had to deal with it for so long that having to deal with it, I might be a little too picky these days.
I'm going to do an amazing segue.
Pike is a dyke! Yes! That's really the name. No, that's really.
That's someone's
oh my
name.
God, that is someone's name. But yes, she's with me 10,000%.
She's with you.
I thought you just had a
Segue of the
very
century. Someone's been talking about
extreme
wine
sample of Tourette's.
floats. Let's talk about how Suzanne herself floats. Yeah.
Okay.
After
Well
rehab,
done.
she just
Well
goes
done.
home and kind
Very
of floats around. She stays in bed for a few weeks at a time.
I do
Yeah.
that when I'm
Relatable.
depressed.
A few
Which is a lot of the time.
Yeah.
I mean, like,
Yeah.
don't-
I have spells where
Yeah.
it only happens every few years, I believe.
Oh, that's
Maybe
nice.
every 4 years. But I'm down for 2 weeks. I just like,
I've had periods where I just, for like, there's a day and I can't
I have
do it,
days, yeah.
and it's just like I have to call in sick, and I'm just gonna do that. It's much less now, but yeah, it's I totally get that. I actually sometimes I think that it can be healthy if I often push myself too hard. So I say yes to a lot of things and I don't want to let people down, and then I'm doing stuff nonstop. But then I'm also canceling on people because I said yes to too many things, and
Yeah.
then I feel bad.
But to be honest, when someone cancels on you, is
Oh,
it
I'm
not
so
the
relieved.
best
It's
feeling
the best-
I'm
ever?
relieved,
it's
but
the
not, I don't
biggest
think everyone
treat
is
of an
like
adult that
Yes.
you'll ever experience.
That's why I don't even feel bad canceling. I'm like, hey, by the way,
some
let's just not.
some people do get offended, and I
Extroverts
understand.
do.
Yeah, no, I mean, I don't understand it, but after I got back from my trip, because I don't know how you travel internationally so much, because jet lag is such a
Oh, ask me what time I went to bed this morning. I went to go to bed at 10:30 at night, and I didn't get some shut-eye till after 3:30.
Yeah, that was me the
Woke up
first
at
week, and
10:40 this morning.
so I recovered a few days last week,
Oh,
but I
wow.
spent the first day when I was back just almost
Same.
from bed to the couch to the bed, cat,
That's so normal.
pan. But it was actually really like helpful, and then the next day I was like ready to go, which usually the next day I'm like, so we're doing this again, right? Me, like
Yeah.
for 5 days. So it was actually kind of nice to feel like, okay, I've relaxed, I've taken a break, and I'm gonna do that. But yeah, I think a lot of the things that she's experiencing between like the addiction and kind of she's functioning depressed for different periods of the book, and she uses this humor as a defense mechanism and as a way to cope
And
with
a
it.
weapon, which I
And a weapon,
respect.
which I is a you
Why
know
is that so bad? I'm
don't
actually
think
struggling
that's-
to understand that, because she was like almost getting chastised by the therapist leader, or like, the person who was addicted and now they're back there to teach and help. They were like, you've got to stop using words as a weapon. And I was just like, what's so bad? How is that? Are you demoralizing people? Are you?
I think it came off as deflection or like some version of not truth, like some
or
version
not
of like
dealing with your
Oh, that's
but
why I
over-
love
what's
it.
under. Well, yeah,
But overall,
but
I
people
mean,
do it.
and people have other ways of not telling the truth, so it's not the worst. I agree with you.
I think humorous, clever words trumps everything else, including not speaking at all.
Starkill20 says, so this is my first live alpha book club, and what a conversation. Yeah, we're talking about
What a display
dairy
pic.
dates,
Whoa.
depression, Los Angeles. It's, you know.
Starkill, you may have to fight Thrash Odin for that moustache, by the way, because he's got.
Oh, who has
the best fun?
Who has a
Starkill
mustache?
20. Look at his DM, his pic. DM, display
can
pic,
you-
DP. Oh, can't say
Oh.
that.
How
You know
can
what I mean.
you?
No, at the very top. See,
Oh,
it's like the hipster
I was looking
mustache.
at
Still talking
something
about
else. I
gelato,
was
though.
like, you're. I was like, can you see anyone's face on there? Like, I can see Lee because I know it's Lee, but
Right.
otherwise, it's
I've
just,
seen that before.
you know.
There's
anyway.
a dodo. The reading dodo kiwi.
Um,
Which means that they're from New Zealand and they like the dodo because it, like the kiwi, was a bird that became extinct. Did you guys know that?
No, I
Or
don't.
am I having a way with my words right now?
you want to hear something embarrassing? What? You know narwhals? What?
Yeah.
Narwhals?
Yeah.
They're like little unicorn whales. I thought they were fictional. For a really long time.
That's fair.
Because they're like the unicorns of the sea.
They
and
do
you always
make-
see
they
them
do
in
make-
cartoons.
In cartoons,
But
and
they're
make
real.
They make an absurd amount of children's books with
Yeah.
narwhals. Like there's so
Because
many
they have all
children's
cute,
books.
like in Elf. The narwhal, he goes, bye, buddy. Anyway, learned recently enough
Do you
that
know what
Kyle Hill
shouldn't-
shamed
Do you
me
know
about
what
it.
shouldn't be fictional? Satyrs. The goat-legged, fun. Yeah, I love
Steven
them.
was
I love them.
Well, I mean, they're humanoid, so I have a problem with that because I think humanoid creatures, that's blurring a line. Because if they can think and talk for themselves, then
Well, I'm not saying they should be considered
Real.
animals. No, I'm saying they should be real.
yeah, I get that.
Why? Do you want to smooch one?
That sounds kinky.
I don't know.
This
I
is a
just
kink.
like them. I
This
like
is
It's
a
like
kink.
mermaid, like it's like there's, doesn't.
What happened? What was
Yeah,
wrong
you're
with
right.
legs? Why did everyone have to take over the
Well,
legs? The goat legs?
Egyptians
fish
just
tail?
stuck animal heads
Yeah,
on top of
animal
human
heads.
bodies.
What would you rather? Would you rather be with a humanoid that had an animal head but a human body, or a human torso, an animal from the waist
Oh,
down?
no.
Let us know in the comments.
This feels like a Harry Potter discussion.
What would Carrie Fisher think of this conversation?
Which we are reading next, which I'm excited about to get
Yes.
back into it.
I wish phoenixes were real.
Oh yay, T-Boys, hey!
Boys.
Welcome. Yeah, no, I think everyone lists their prescriptions. Shall we all go? I think
Not
that
on any.
running a long way.
that's I've tried that.
Yeah.
Not for me. I get bored and just stop.
I play Hearthstone on the treadmill.
No,
I
I
play
mean,
Hearthstone
they're
on the
not for
treadmill, I
everyone,
distract
and
myself.
I think antidepressants and/or any kind of medication and/or therapy, or rehab, inpatient, outpatient, family therapy, group therapy, all of those things. No, if it works for you and it makes you feel better, as long as it's not self-destructive
And
or hurting
harmful.
someone else,
Yes.
then whatever works for you.
I think narwhal has an H in it, doesn't it?
It does, narwhal.
Narwhal. Narwhal. Centaurs also should be real.
How did we get on the? I don't remember.
danced
I
with
do
this-
like. Here's what I
Yes.
like about the book that I think is accurate: is the way she gets out of her depression has nothing to do with herself.
Guys, okay, we're getting into I just have been sitting on this one for a while and I want to bring it up. The whole Alex build-up was such an anticlimactic. It was like an anticlimactic moment. Why would you invest so much of the story in the first half of the book for it to be snuffed out in one conversation?
Yeah.
I was annoyed because I had to go through Alex's shit. And I
man.
didn't need to hear about how he relapsed, and I didn't need to hear how frantic he was, and
see-
like literally feel his nose bleed
I
because
really
that-
loved
that's
that.
all- I
that was a
couldn't stand
very
it.
yeah, that one was one that hit really hard, I think, because if you have known anyone or have experienced any of that, like that was, it feels normal or it seems normal to the person when they're in it, and the people around them are just like,
slow down.
what is happening? I
think I'm
and
very-
that was very accurate and felt like I had to like stop reading it.
Same.
Yeah.
Because I didn't listen to this book, I read it, and I just felt that and I was discussing how the similarities here were reading sort of like biographies of musicians that like Anthony Kiedis from Scar Tissue, like that book from Red Hot Chili Peppers, and they talk in absolute detail about their addiction, and I just forget to breathe, and I actually feel almost claustrophobic, where it's just like, oh, right, you know, that's what I've got to. What the hell, Thrash Odin?
I know. I saw it as you were talking, and I was like, this is horrifying.
That's amazing. What was I saying? Addiction. Yeah, it was.
Yeah, we're
really
going from.
difficult to read, but I thought if you're going to
narwhals
invest
and
so
unicorns
much
to addiction.
and do the back and forth, I thought that he was an integral part.
Yeah,
and then
I
he
did
just
too.
Goes away, and they run into each other at a party, and it's just such an offhanded comment where he sends her the script. I'm like, well, she's obviously going to do it because there's a purpose to this Alex character, and they're going to, who knows, she's going to relapse, or you know, isn't this how this goes? By the third act, you've got to have your bad thing and then come good again. No, he just hired some other girl and they end up getting together.
Yeah, I found it anticlimactic, but I will say, like with many things that I think people find anticlimactic, it did feel like something that would happen in LA, where you run into someone that you met at something like out of the norm, and you think that and they just flit in and out. There's so many people that just come in and out of your lives so quickly,
and whether they're like, and he's successful now, so it's kind of, but it's not incidental to her. It's just like, yeah, he's over there doing his thing, I guess, and it's probably not the greatest thing in the whole world, but whatever.
I mean, it was like fleeting. I don't know. It just seemed like they invested so much into it. And T-Boy's saying, "Thank you, my lord. Alex's ending was disappointing."
Yeah, no, I definitely
totally
felt that way too. Let's hang out soon. Oh God.
Miss Necromancer, I totally agreed. I wanted more payoff. When you see a coke rock fall out of a dude's nose, you need to see that story through.
That's true.
Here, sister.
But I also liked, I agree with you, the fact that we got Alex's perspective made me think that we were going to get more, and I was invested in how those were going to connect. But I also kind of like that someone that is not that great and you don't really like that much, like, it doesn't matter what kind of person you are, you can work and get clean. Like, I felt like that was
honestly
part
what
of
I
it.
envisioned was that she takes the job, and the stress of it and him being on set, he actually starts using again, and she makes the choice whether it would be so easy to go back there, it'd be so easy to slip. She's in like this family, she's kind of built up what this family feels like, and he then becomes her family, and he's a bad influence on her, and she has to make this decision. There's a fork in the road. Do I follow Alex and I fall back into despair, or do I stay clean? And she leaves or quits the film. A detriment to like the fact that this was the first big gig that she would have gotten. That is a story.
Well, this doesn't feel.
It feels like essays.
It doesn't feel like a novel or a narrative in the same way that a story like that
fiction.
Would be. No, I know, but and I don't know if you've read Have you guys seen Girl Interrupted?
Yeah.
So the book is actually, I like the movie so much better, but you don't like. Are we talking about?
No,
oh God.
Starkiller. I mean, this is a great conversation. Do whales even have heads? Aren't they just faces just on their bodies? And it's so true.
It just reminds me of the whale from when we read Hitchhiker's Guide.
Oh, and it just killed. Oh, it just died.
That's the saddest part.
Yeah.
I will close out this but I just think that I just lost my train of thought too.
I'm so sorry. That was
That's
just
okay.
such a great diversion.
What was I talking? Oh, narratively. So Girl Interrupted is a series of stories about the women that are in the hospital with her.
Yep.
And so they're much more like essays, and it doesn't have as much of a narrative flow that the movie does. And I think the movie does a really great job of connecting those stories and turning them into a narrative. And I haven't seen the movie in a long time, but I know it focuses much more on the relationship with her mom, who's barely in this. But I think that's one of those things.
But Carrie wrote the screenplay.
Yes, exactly. And she took it and made it into something that was less of a collection of essays, which is what a lot of her other works are more like, where it's more personal and less of a narrative. But my favorite part was the beginning. Your favorite part was also the beginning, would you say?
I don't know if it's my favorite. I definitely enjoyed reading. It was a faster read for me. Like going through this other part, it was a little bit slower. But I think I enjoyed both of them for different reasons. Honestly.
What about you?
Second half of the book, I kind of liked seeing that she came good and life was great, and like actually understanding who Suzanne was outside of the clinic. Because I think in the clinic you were seeing, like,
she's figuring things out and a lot of
But the excuses that she would make and what was important to her then, and then her kind of, establishing that she can have a relationship with a great guy. I kind of love all that.
Yeah.
In the chat, they're saying the PS was super, super heavy. Starkhill. Oh wait, that was no up. I think they're all talking. Miss Necromancer, the PS had so much weight in a single line, and Theory jumping in saying, "Oh yeah, it hit me real hard." The PS after Suzanne writes to the doctor, Dr. Blau, who was the doctor that pumped her stomach and sent her flowers, and then this time has sent her a toy, trying to get back in her pants, thinking, hey, remember me? I had a crush on you about 4 years ago. What
when
say
you threw
now?
up scallops on me.
That's such an 80s thing and would never happen because we would be like friends on Facebook and he would have asked.
Had to have written a note and sent a giant toy. And her PS is, that night in the emergency room, do you recall if I threw up something I needed, some small but trivial thing that belonged inside? I distinctively feel as though I'm missing something, but then I always have.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What would she have eaten? Her heart?
Well, I think there's. Do you guys watch Crazy Ex-Girlfriend?
No, it's
No,
too
I
happy
should.
for me.
It deals with a lot of mental health issues. It's actually
Is
very.
that because
it's
she's a stalker?
No, well, it deals with a lot of mental health. It's a very dark comedy at times. It gets very heavy later on, and deals with the patriarchy in sports and all these. It has really great like one-liners that are great, but one of the things that in one of the songs she has that's like a musical ballad like that you would sing, and it's her talking to the like postman who's Seth Green, and it's "Tell Me I'm Okay," and she's just singing at this stranger basically like "Tell me I'm okay," and it's all about her saying like, I feel like I didn't get the manual on how to be normal, and I feel like that's something that a lot of people can relate to, like something is missing or something is wrong or I don't know how to be like other people. I think that's actually a very universal feeling for a lot of people, and for some reason it feels like you're alone and it feels like no one else could possibly feel that way, or everyone else seems happy. I'm sure social media amplifies that, but it's interesting, and I think that's the kind of thing. I really liked that line because when I read books about this stuff, I like dive deep into the sad, and so the humor element of it kind of threw me off because it was like, that's not how I ever deal with anything, and it always makes me kind of like not uncomfortable, but it's just not a familiar feeling for me. But I think it's good for me to not just
I was
read
like,
sad
I need
stuff.
to date an author. That's what I got out of this. I was like, I haven't been exploring that avenue.
There's a little bit
I
that
don't know
I
about
didn't
that.
love that it just came so fucking easy where this guy just all of a sudden just likes her
Pops
very
up.
much. Huh?
Yeah, he just pops into the world.
He just pops up and he's like, and you, and then they fast forward and they're happy and you're
But
like,
people used
what
to
the
meet
actual
each other
fuck?
and stuff. Like
That's exactly how it happens.
No, it doesn't.
Yes, it does. Everyone thinks that it's supposed to be this giant firework and this whole.
that's true.
No, I
and
think
they were the one. It just
No,
happens.
That's fine. I just don't love that it ended on a happy she found a relationship note. But maybe
Yeah,
that's me putting
to
a little
make
too
it
much into
less
it.
about that
Just
and more
like,
about her.
No, yeah, like it's different. Like he made her a peanut butter sandwich. That's not real. Like people liking other people, that can't be real.
What? What?
Yeah.
What do you mean people don't like other
you know
people?
what I
I do, yeah.
No, what are you
do.
talking about?
Yeah, it's really hard for me.
What?
We don't
Like,
have to do it.
I'm never gonna.
What is happening?
It is hard. Do you know what was hard? It's
hard to connect with people in an honest way, I think.
No.
me.
What?
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
What do you got? What do you mean?
Yeah,
You just
I
don't
know
like
how to
have-
articulate it.
You don't have fun with. You don't fall in love and just
fun.
like.
No, fun is different.
And connect on
Fun is different from connecting. How do you get out of?
Like,
here's the
where
thing I
they
obsess
know
over.
you.
Yes,
Oh,
yes.
Christ.
This is please.
Yeah, but I.
This
I'm
is a
not
thing I think about constantly.
This is
And it really
fascinating.
bums me out, but I can't stop thinking about it, which is that no one can ever really truly know another person.
That's.
You can't. You can't.
Yep.
That's okay.
Yeah.
I guess.
Depends how much you want to show, though.
But no,
what
but
you
you
doing
can't.
behind that wall?
But people,
Knock on
no,
the wall.
I. It's not about me not wanting people to know me. It's that I will never know them.
You don't want to know what what face they make when they're pushing a turd out. There's some things.
No,
that you
it's
just don't
not
need
even
to
that.
know.
It's not that. It's not like
It's-
the intimate moments.
She
it's
does a
internal.
really good job of it when she's
Yeah.
like talking to him and she's looking at him and being like, oh, what the fuck is going on over there? And,
Yeah.
and meanwhile, he's just like reading his paper or whatever.
You too, Stephen?
Yeah.
What? Okay, you guys. Okay, now that
Also,
I'm the
Steven, you're
minority,
gonna
I
love
really
Crazy
need you to.
Ex-Girlfriend. It gets so good.
I need you to explain how it's not easy to like someone.
It's not about liking someone. It's about, I think for me at least, it's more about connecting with people. Like it takes me, you know this, even on a friend level, it takes me a long time to feel comfortable. It's not that and I'm much less shy, I think, than I was when we met, but, which I think has a lot to do with the show. But, but I do feel like there's something about the intimacy of connecting with someone, of feeling like you can be yourself, that you know that they're being themselves, like that kind of.
I've never thought about that.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sorry if that's going to make you think about it a lot now because it's not fun.
Super cynically. I know that. From whatever the hell I don't know, we've all been through, I guess, the same shit, so it doesn't even matter. But I am cynical as fuck, and like. People take it. I've said it to a couple of people. I'm like, whatever. It's not like whatever. We're like, I guess, whatever. Oh, what do I say? Do I say it? It comes off as low self-esteem. I know that. It is not low self-esteem. It is.
Mine is probably.
It is a pragmatic viewpoint of
Human beings.
what any relationship.
Yeah.
Actually is, and it comes off as low self-esteem where I'm like, no, you don't like me, or whatever that point of view is.
Miss Necromancer gets like the best comments
Yeah.
all ABC, by the
What does
way.
she
You're
get?
the MVP for the ABC.
I don't want to know.
Well, I also, Mrs. Kyla
Yes.
Wren, Preach Earn, says friendship is easy, intimacy is hard. That's true. There are a lot of, and that.
Oh, guys, I fall in love really easily. And you know what? If someone is putting on a mask, I fall in love with that mask.
No, but
I
that's,
see what I
that's
get,
the thing.
and I
It
take
doesn't
at
mean
face
that you
value.
don't fall in love.
Hence
It
the
means that you, like, I definitely feel things very hard
We're
and
Pisces.
very
Yes.
fast. And I am less, I don't think I'm cynical about it. I am very hopeful about it, which just makes it worse because I want those kinds of connections, but then I feel like I'm either I disappoint someone else disappoints me, something doesn't work, something doesn't make sense.
But everything's
It's
a
not-
great lesson to be learned.
No, and I totally
And each
agree
new
with that.
person has
But
an amazing
will you
story to
ever?
hear.
So that's
does anyone
that's
truly know
amazing.
each
And
other?
I will
Do I
always
just have a positive outlook?
those
I will
are
always
different.
do that. I'll always jump right in.
Yeah.
That's fine. It's the next part that
Yeah.
eludes me.
I mean, you're
Yes.
talking to someone who's never been in a relationship for 2 years or more.
That's me.
Almost 6 years recently.
Yeah.
So, but that's the thing is that things
Long-term
change
intimacy.
so.
Let's talk about that. Let's talk about commitment.
Oh God.
Because I think fun
I'd
and
be good at
exciting
it.
is great.
I think I'd be good at commitment.
But
I think I would.
I think you would too. That's the thing though, is that things can all be right. You can have connections, you can love someone, all those things, and it still cannot work. You still can end up not being connected to each other. And coming out of something where you thought you were in it and that was it, and then being like, oh God, now I'm not, and I'm learning all these things. It's not bad. I'm not sad about it. You know, you miss the person. There's all sorts of feelings about that, whether it's a friend or anything else. But I do think that falling in love or trusting someone or being open and vulnerable is not mutually exclusive to thinking, I don't know that you can ever really get to the thing that we're all trying to get to.
Does that thing even exist if no one's gotten it?
Yeah, as a human being, like maybe it's something like when you know, not to get like super, but like, you know how some people think when you die you just become like energy, or you know, who knows what happens.
Ah, you did.
Maybe it's another, I mean, yes, but
That's the end of the Golden Compass
but what
series.
but what if you become something and, you know, there's or I don't know. But
I think I was a flamingo in my last life.
you can be happy, you can fall in love, you can have all of those things, but I don't know how you ever truly know another person because I feel like I'm different every day. I feel like I change my mind, my emotions change all the time, and I
But don't you like having a few things that are just yours? I think it would be absolutely awful if someone knew everything about me. I would be predictable.
No, and I don't think it's knowing everything. I think it's just this level of connection. Maybe it's just I don't know, if we're getting deep, I'm probably drawn to people who keep things closed off, and so maybe that's just been my personal experience, but yeah, I don't know.
Fascinating.
Yeah.
And actually reading things from Mrs.
Oh,
Kylo
yay,
Ren.
someone has a successful relationship in the chat.
I actually love Lee's comment, which I think is a really good subtitle to all of this, which is, anyway, I'm going to go home and eat my salad alone.
And then he mentioned Lost.
Yeah, that's great. Really good.
My plans
That
later was
song
like
should
to
be
go
playing
home and
throughout
watch
this whole thing.
Xanadu with my cat. So
Stephen, I believe in you, by the way. That's a very LA
too.
sentence. That's sick. I like it.
it took me ask for people for help and to reach out. It's really hard.
First time I did it was
and it's
only
good.
about 6 years ago.
I did it with you a couple
No, the
months
first time
ago.
I ever did it.
No, I know, but I did it with you a couple months. Well, you kind of made me, but it was really helpful. You knew. She always knows. We'll like break from this, and we've had a good show, and she'll be like, "What's wrong?" I'm like, "How did you know?"
I have intuition.
Yeah.
Who else was saying something that was fascinating in the chat? Mrs. Kylo Ren was saying that even if a person's saying, I like you, the person's going, okay, but do you? But do they?
Oh,
and I think
right.
it was, oh, wow, everyone's sharing. This is great. I like Starkill 20. I feel like the idealized, stop, up.
No,
Oh yeah,
down.
T-Boyce was saying, I can understand the difficulty with connecting with others. I'm so glad to meet you. But then his inner voice says, but are you really? And then Starkill 20 says, I feel like the idealized concept of a relationship sounds great in fiction. Mate, I think I live in fiction.
Yeah.
But in real life, it's just never like that. And you're constantly overthinking everything to see if, wait, is this feeling love? And it usually isn't.
It's something else.
I freaking live in fiction, guys.
But
man, I'm like, you're great. This is cool. How good's life?
That's good.
I thought, this is so funny. This is a real story. This weekend, I've been seeing this guy for 2.5 months.
Hey.
Super casual, So
Is
okay, but what? Humble brag, no big deal. But he broke
had
up with
2
me.
months.
He broke up with me because he said, my mom's coming into town for a month. And I was like, so I can see while your mom's in town. A month's a long time, but whatever. And he goes, yeah, my mom doesn't want me to date anyone. And I was like,
What a
I was
cop
like,
out.
well, hold on. And he
How old
goes,
is this
yeah,
person?
my mom can be really strict.
So I had the
How
exact
old is
same
this
thing
person?
happening. Oh my God, I got the year 9.
36 years old.
I had the 9th grade
you
version of
dodged
that.
a bullet?
But why are bullets being shot at me?
I mean, this will make you feel better. In the 9th grade, I liked this guy, Alex.
That's an actual nightmare. Okay, 9th grade.
9th grade, Alex, him and I made a pact that if we were 30 and not married, we would get married. That didn't happen. He's married with like 6 kids. But I'm fine as well. But in the 9th grade, he asked me out and I was like, oh my God, you want to go out with me? I liked him so much. A month into it, he said that he was grounded for 3 months. And I was like, okay. And he's like, I'm grounded for 3 months. I was like, oh, okay, well. And he's like, so you wouldn't want to be with someone that couldn't see you for 3 months. He wasn't grounded. He was using it so that he could end it with me, and that was a cop-out. And you've had the 36-year-old version of that. That's
But it's like
bullshit.
it's like
It's
weird,
way-
fucked up. To use the line, my mom can be pretty strict. I'm like, well, so? And?
Me too. Yeah, no.
Like,
I wish I had a mummy's boy. I
mean,
sorry, I can't sing. I clicked, but I changed the words. It's parody. It's parody.
Very fun. Oh,
I will say too that
Amy, girl, what the hell? Red flag, run.
that is such a red flag. But it's crazy because we're talking about all these things and we're open about
So mad.
everyone has their shit, right? It depends. Like some people have a little bit and you're like, oh, you're so cute. And some people have a lot and you're like, hey, let's be friends. And maybe me, just me. But there are people in the
Girl,
chat
you go.
talking about, you know, that someone in the chat was saying that they've been in their relationship, they've been married for 11 years and they dated before that, and that their relationship is constantly evolving. And I think that's the thing that a lot of people
My parents have
don't
been together
do.
since I was 18, and they grow
Your
and
parents
evolve,
together?
but
Yeah,
they
they
grow
are.
together.
Happily, too.
God,
Some people
LA
grow together.
has hurt you. LA dating has hurt you,
I
huh?
don't know. I've had other experiences that aren't great, but yeah, my mom and dad, she'll still sit in his lap and like be cute.
Oh yeah, my parents are super cute together.
Yeah, they're very
Mum was
affectionate.
saying, she goes, your father said the other day, because I was like, you know, how's life
I already
going?
know this is gonna make me cry.
How's life going? And he goes, I'm the happiest I've ever been. And Mum's like, oh, and he goes, you make me so happy more and more every day, and I can't believe how lucky I am. They've been together since they were 18. And I'm like, that exists. Yeah, you just have to, do you know what it is? You have to,
Start when you're 18.
no, you have to want to be able to feel content. Some people are absolutely fearful of the feeling of contentment.
That is certainly something. I also think that,
Are we not over time?
I don't know how.
I know.
We're like, it's
We've gone
therapy,
through
it's
so
wine
much.
therapy time. But I was gonna say that the thing for me that I picked up on from that comment was that I think a lot of people stop, once they get to where they think, oh, we're in love and we're happy, they stop talking about things, or like all of the great friendships I have are brutally honest. All of the like most important people to me, I've been able to be really honest with, and vice versa. And I think when you get into a thing where you're like, now we have this good thing, a lot of people I think are afraid to mess with that. They might grow in different directions because they're not talking. I think so many people I've spoken to have had that experience where they're like, I don't know what happened. And there's a song by the Beatles, which I never do the singing.
I
I know the rules.
I mean, I'd probably sing it, so thank you.
It's by the Beatles, and every time I hear it, and especially after, you know, I just went through a big breakup a few months ago, and every time I hear it, it just like, it makes me feel better and sad, and it's from I'm Looking Through You, and the line is, love has a nasty habit of disappearing overnight.
Ooh,
Sometimes it's just gone, and it is gradual for the most part, but you feel it like it's instantly. I think when you reflect it,
I've had a moment where I was dating a guy, and
we need a dating show is what we
I don't know,
learned
like
from
it was
this.
amazing. I'd met his family and I'd seen how he was with his family, and I just saw this whole new side, and I was like, I'm going to marry this man. I want to have his kids. This is amazing. I remember I went, and I know being on a plane heightens emotions, but I was so excited that I was landing back in LA after a trip and I was going to see him that I cried. And 3 days later, it went away. I kid you not. And I was like, I don't know what happened. It's just gone. And he goes, but want to marry me? And I was like, gone.
Bye.
Yeah.
Oh, God.
I don't know what that was about.
It's tough. So alpha dating, we'll come up with a cuter name, but we'll do a dating show.
Yeah.
Talk about how terrible it is.
So probably we should get in the chat. You guys, I mean, you're having amazing conversations about dating, about relationships.
I just love that the book triggered all this.
Yeah. Isn't it such a conversation
You read it and you're
starter?
like, yep. Like you just start thinking like, oh yeah, this is like
It's a very
me.
human
This is-
experience. Yeah.
Yeah, I absolutely agree.
But way funnier than I am.
hey,
Not you. Or you.
Well.
You guys are funny people. I'm not a funny person.
you can't have everything, Rachel.
Can't I?
The Giovanni. You definitely can have Giovanni. You can have Giovanni. I don't know what else you need.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Let's actually weigh in about, if you are on the computer, you can weigh in on the poll. We are asking you guys, how many stars would you give Postcards from the Edge? From a 1-star rating to 5-star. And if you have Goodreads, we're on it too. But you can log in this book and make your own review there as well. But final thoughts, everyone. Oh, alpha speed dating. I'd be down.
Oh, God.
They wouldn't be able to handle me.
God,
Yeah,
alpha
no, we
speed
would
dating.
scare
I would
everyone
treat it like a
away
bit.
from
I would just treat it like a bit. I
Yeah,
wouldn't
I
be
could
real.
think I could make someone cry pretty quickly.
Oh, I would do the thing where you're like, and here are all of my problems. Hi, nice to meet you.
No, I would, do you know what line I keep saying to the guys that I date? Don't worry, you're the pretty one, I'm the funny one. Turns out it doesn't go down well at all. Hey, let us know what you think about the book in the comments right now.
What would you?
That's probably the name of my biography.
I would like it if you said that to me because you're so pretty.
Yeah.
So it's like really
You're
a
the
compliment.
pretty-
It's a
It's a compliment!
Absolutely, it's a compliment.
Oh,
They
goodness.
they want to be funny.
Can't have it.
Eh, they want to be everything.
Alpha
need
dating
to
tips
try
with
harder.
Amy. That could be called
Well,
Alpha
let's
Bumble
start-
Club.
Oh God. We'll get we'll get Bumble to sponsor
What do we all think
us.
about this book? Do you
Not
want to
Tinder.
swipe left or swipe right?
I think the beginning of the show is which apps are you on and which have you deleted from your phone? And then
it's
do an update every
constantly.
week.
It's Yeah. Yep.
Hey, by the
Some
way,
of them
Justin,
turns out
hey
are
with
too
an emoji
serious.
isn't good enough for me.
Entertain
One
me.
time I just sent a gift because I was lazy, and he goes, "Come on, you can do better." And I waited until midnight, and I just go ... What if ... What if I can't?
We could go on forever. What would you? I would give. That's me. I would do 3.5. That's what I would give.
Yeah.
I'm a sucker. 5 stars from me. For
Great,
sure.
great start. The execution was lovely. It told a great story, but it just didn't have. It was anticlimactic with the Alex payoff. That's my 3.6. It's crawled up to.
Oh.
How interesting. Thank you for joining us. Hey, Amy, where can people find you on social media now that you're single, ready to mingle?
Now that I'm single, I'm at Vor. Yeah, we sure are.
We need
Single
to go
Pisces.
out.
Why are we not crying? We need to go out.
That needs to be a gift. There's like 9 different emotions in the space of 2 seconds. Wow.
We're all 3 single Pisces. Why are we not crying? We need to go out, and like all horrified and entered at all of us.
I'm at Vorpal Sword or at
Vorpal's
Word. Whatever, y'all. Yeah, thumbs up from Steven.
Guys, we are starting a new book next week. We are heading back to Harry Potter. Hector, who didn't actually show up, probably a good thing. We would have shared half the shit we would have.
Because every time I see Hector,
He's in the relationship goals right now.
Maud and I
they're
were
the
like
best.
about to cry watching them dance together at WonderCon.
I
It
wanted
was
to be
like-
going out with both of
I
them.
know. We kind of wanted in a throuple
Yoink,
with them.
you're mine now. Book number 5 of Harry Potter.
Should we tell him when he comes back we've decided we're in a polyamorous relationship?
Yes, we're all narwhals.
I don't hate it.
We're not even unicorns. We're narwhals. We exist.
I'm just swimming
and
through
we're
with a
you.
horn. Hey, it's Harry Potter and the Order of the Phoenix. Stop at the beginning of chapter 12. It's Dolores Umbridge, which is page 221 in this copy
She's
that's
so
being
evil.
shown up on the screen. And again, it's worth mentioning about Goodreads. By the way, you can be on the show if you'd like to Skype in with us.
Tell us about your dating horror stories.
Please make us feel better about our
amazing.
lives. If you want to do that, just jump onto Twitter at JoinTeamAlpha. You can use the hashtag book club. That'll probably help us, or Alpha Book Club even. Lost the Numbers or Lee, who's actually crying into his salad right now. He's going to help you out with that one and set you up. I believe we do have a guest locked in for, because there's going to be 4 weeks of this. We've got 1 guest locked in. How cool would it be if we had another 3? 1 every week.
be so fun.
Skype with us, everybody.
Everyone at once.
Skype with us.
And Java Book Geek Girl sings. Are we going back to Hogwarts? No, we cannot sing.
The famous
Don't
Isn't the
famous
house
IP.
cut back?
Hogwarts, Hoggy, Hogwarts. I believe
That doesn't have a. I don't think we're in
doesn't have a
trouble for
license
that.
on it?
Also, if you like thrillers and mysteries, I read like 8 books on my vacation, and they're all rated on Goodreads. So check it out.
Oh, damn. I think I'm up to book 1100 of the Dresden Files. I am smashing
God, I need
through
to. I need
those.
to get back into that one.
Ah, so
too.
good, guys. Really, listen to them on Audible because it's James Masters and he is
I
the
would-
best narrator. And you know what the best part is? I tweeted him that he was really good and he liked it. Yeah.
Beautiful.
But he also, never mind. Hey, no, it's just like there's a few like intimate moments in the book and I was listening to them in public and I blamed him for making it very uncomfortable for me. We're going to see you next week, guys. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Have fun storming the castle. You think it'll work?
It'll take a miracle.
Bye-bye.